you for joining us. Before we roll into the live presentation with AD, we'd like you to ask yourself these questions. Why real estate? Why are you interested in learning more about this business? And why are you watching this video? Let's roll into it.
Tax benefits that when the property is in use that you get, so like deduction from your mortgage, deduction from mortgage interest, property taxes, depreciation. I just used that this year when I did my taxes for the property that we have in San Antonio, and it saved me a ton of money, right? Allowed me to get some money back from the taxes. Also, one of my favorite things is the potential for capital gains tax reduction to 1031 exchanges. And what that is you have a property and you're getting ready to sell it. It's a rental property, and you find a like-minded property. Let's say it's 500,000. You find another one, 500,000, and you have a 45-day window to find that like-minded property, and then you sell that property. You defer those taxes by putting that equity that you get from the sale into a third-party escrow account, and then you 1031 it by closing on that other property within 180 days, right? And then that's how you say, screw you, Uncle Sam, I'm not gonna pay those taxes until later, until you actually sell it. So that's one huge advantage that you get with real estate. So everybody loves the money, baby, right? Cash flow is pound for pound, probably the most popular reason why we get into real estate investing, because we want to generate regular income streams, streams of income. So how does an extra $200, $2,000, or $20,000 a month sound to you? So I bet that would definitely help, right? Probably get out of that job you don't like. Probably allow you to take more time and spend it with your family, your loved ones, or focus your energy on doing the things that you're passionate about. Passive incomes, like I said, also helps cover expenses and build wealth. Like, for instance, house hacking, which we're going to talk about today, which is where you buy a single family home, use like I said, a first-time home buyer program, so little to very low threshold of capital that you need to get into it, and then you start yielding some return on your investment instantly when you move into it and you rent out the rooms. Or if you don't feel as comfortable renting out the rooms, then you can get an ADU, an additional dwelling unit, and build it in your back lot, so that way you have some privacy and you're still getting cash flow while still living in the property. But what it allows you to do is free up some capital that you would be using on paying that mortgage and buy some more property. Or multifamily, right? Anything less than a 5-unit, you get into it, use the same strategy, and you live in one and you rent out the other ones. And you can use 70% of the projected rental income when you speak to a loan officer to get you pre-approved for that when you buy in a multifamily. And then commercial space too, right? For instance, you can rent out even your driveway or your garage if you have some space. And that could be an extra $250. That can be an extra $500 a month that you get by just maximizing your square footage. And also the potential to create consistent monthly cash flow that we talked about. You can short-term rental, mid-term, or long-term rental it. You can also, like I said, the rental income increases every year, and the amortization goes down, which gives you more cash flow. So next slide. Long-term wealth creation. That is the reason why I buy real estate. The reason why I'm in real estate investment is to take care of my family and the future generation. Like I said, real estate has proven a track record of creating long-term wealth and building equity over time. It provides a financial security and opportunities for future generation, leaving back a legacy for your kids, right? Like Detra, leave a legacy for Anthony here, and so on and so forth, right? And for instance, you can pay for kids' education, future ventures. Maybe Anthony, is going to college right now, and you can't pay it out of pocket, but maybe mom has a property that you can refinance, get that money out and pay off your student debt, or you can sell it and pay off your student debt. But it came through her putting in that sacrifices years behind, so that way she's thinking ahead and taking care of you when the time is needed. I'm doing the same thing for my daughter, right? And future ventures, maybe you might want to start up your own business, right? With animation, you're gonna need some money. So you utilize that money from those assets to start up that business venture that you want, right? Or give them a place to live, right? You got a place to live, no rent, and that's amazing. You know what I mean? Next slide. So we're gonna kind of deep dive into how to purchase your property with using little to no money down with house hacking. So figure out your why. That's number one, because when time gets tough, you always got to resort to that why to keep you moving forward. Educate yourself. It's free. We're here at Strive Real Estate, right? Great education. That's how I got started. I reached out to Detra and she put me on a program and I learned it, but at the same time, no analysis paralysis, because that can definitely prevent you from achieving your dream, right? You can just study, try to be a perfectionist, but if you don't start taking steps to move forward to that goal, then you're never gonna get there. So after you educate yourself, you get in your reps and you take action. I remember when Detra started us off, we were analyzing a bunch of deals, running the numbers, and then taking action, right? I always talk about this theme of aggressive patience. You have to be patient because it doesn't happen overnight, but you have to be aggressively working towards your goal and taking critical action steps every day to get closer. So that's getting your reps. It's like working out. If you don't work out, you don't get in shape. So then you pick a location, right? You pick a location. Maybe it's nearby. Maybe it's out of state. Maybe it's near family. You want to pick a location where you want to focus on and really understand the market. And then you build your team from there. You reach out to the real estate agent. You reach out to your vendors. You build your team, your loan officer. You get pre-qualified, and then you move forward. And then you get financing, right? Like I mentioned, we're going to be just talking about FHA, first-time homebuyer loan, VA for veterans, and USDA if you were looking to buy at a rural property. And then you take action. Then once that's all done, you submit offers and you purchase the property and then you rent it out. Next step. Plan, right? Before looking at these properties, figure out a game plan. Basically, how much can you invest, right? Since we're talking about first-time home buyer programs, FHA, VA, USDA, you got to see how much you have liquid available to be able to put down for this property. Right, talk to a loan officer. That should be your first thing. Talk to a loan officer, see how much you can get pre-qualified for. It's kind of like, do you get the chicken or the egg, right? And that's where you want to start off. What is going to be your strategy? Are you going to buy and hold? Is it going to be a short-term rental? Is it going to be rent out by the rooms? So are you going to buy this single-family home? And like I said, is it going to be a month-to-month where you just rent out the rooms and have roommates? Or are you going to Airbnb it while living in the back unit? Maybe it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. Like, what's your strategy here? Are you focused on single family? Is it going to be multifamily or mobile homes? Next slide. The realtor is going to give you more information about the market. Like myself, I pride myself on really educating my clients on what the market rents are, what's the best places to look at, school districts, like how the different tax rates, everything is going to affect how the property performs throughout the time that you own it. Also, what some places to stay away from, some places to look at. And also, the realtor is your resource. He has the connection to the preferred loan officer, which will help you get pre-approved. And once you get pre-approved, then you know how much you can purchase, right? Is it $600,000? Is it $500,000? Is it $800,000? They will show you all the different programs that are available for you. And then your vendors, your inspectors, you want to get, the qualified plumbers, electrician, GC, all those people that are going to help you through the home buying process. And then also, maybe you might not want to go in it alone. Maybe you don't have all the capital, to be able to purchase the property. And don't let that stop you from moving forward, because I always say a statement closes the mind, but a question opens it up for opportunity, right? Don't tell yourself, all I got is 10 grand, I can't buy anything, right? Like, figure it out. So reach out to a business partner. Maybe they might be an equity partner. Maybe they might be able to give you a gift to purchase the property, and then you give them back that money, you know, when you refinance or when you sell, or maybe they might want some cash flow, or maybe they might be living with you, or maybe they can be boots on ground, you know, any value that they can bring. You want to have that discussion up front, and they could be a member of your team. So, next slide. Words in real estate, right? It's super important to understand your market, understand your location. One of the key components that Detra taught us was use apps like Airbnb. Area Vibes. Sorry, I confused you for a second. Area Vibes to really get more information about the location you wish to invest to, right? Maybe you've never been in this location, and you want to understand it. What is the asset class? Like, is it an A plus property, or is it in a B neighborhood, or is, you know, what is the income like? What is the economics in that place? Area Vibe is a great tool to use to really understand that zip code or that county or that location that you're looking to purchase a property at. Rental meter is very important. I love using rental meter as a good guide for rental pricing to really figure out what the market value is for rental prices. Like what a 3-bedroom, 2-bath goes for, what a 1-bedroom goes for. Just really understanding that market. Is it $1,200, $1,300, $1,500 a month? You know, really knowing your target market value. And when you're evaluating a location, consider current and future demand for the neighborhoods. Like I said, look at the school district, the crime rates, proximity to businesses, commute times, and access to transportation. Whatever you choose to invest in, single family, duplex, it's crucial to learn about the property values and the rent prices, like I said. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Just really understand that, because it is your investment. You want to treat it like your investment, so you want to do that due diligence ahead of time. It's the chicken and the egg. So at this example that I'm going to go over with you guys is a scenario where a client of mine last year purchased a duplex in Stockton, actually, utilizing a first-time homebuyer loan with only 3.5% down, getting pre-approved up to $550,000 at a rate of 5.75. So this, he basically, the egg came first, right? He got the financing first, and then he went and found the deal. So let's go. So what I'm about to go into is basically the example and the numbers of how we purchased this property and how we found it and what the numbers look like. But one key component is know your expenses. Because you can figure out the income pretty easily. It's a very small portion of it, but really the numbers are important on the expenses. You don't want to be surprised. You want to be proactive rather than reactive when it comes to that. So like I said, buying an investment property is exciting. However, it's vital to be honest about the numbers. Don't just focus on the income a property can produce without considering the various expenses associated with owning a property. So there's fixed expenses, which include like property taxes, insurance, routine maintenance, property management services, utility, homeowner associations, if applicable. Then you have your variable expenses. They could be like repairs, they could be capital expenditures, so like a new roof or a water heater, furnace. Those are big ticket expenses. Legal fees, or even vacancy rate, loss of income, and more. So let's go to the next one. So life scenario that I helped this gentleman purchase his first property and investment property at the same time by utilizing the house hacking strategy. So this is Chris Woods. Chris bought this property last year. I sold him 2 cars before I sold him his house. I met him at the dealership, and he's like, AD, I want to buy a house. He actually got rid of his beautiful Mercedes Benz that he bought for me, because he was all in. He's like, I'm lowering all my liabilities. I'm getting rid of this. I'm gonna go buy an asset. I'm gonna go buy a real estate property. Can you help me? And so he came to me. He already got pre-approved. He did all the steps. He came back to me, like I said, he was pre-approved for $500,000 with 3.5% down. Let's go. Next slide. I'm gonna show you the numbers. So this was the property that he bought. Is in Montesino Avenue in Stockton, and so this is a multifamily, 2 units. So, and the reason why he was moving here was because he's working closer to the Bay Area, so he needed to be around this area. So it's a perfect location. But he started researching, understanding the market rents, doing everything I told him. And we found this property. It was first on the market just under $500,000. It was like $499. It was a hot property as soon as it came on. I mean, it was like everybody was on top of it, like white on rice, right? And it was 525 was what we got into contract for. It appraised for 525, which is awesome. And all the cash he needed was the 34,125. That's including the closing costs. So closing costs, a great way to find that out is typically 3% of the purchase price. But he only really put down about 18,000, and I remember he got a gift from, I think, a family member, his mom. So he really only put down like 18 grand on it, which is a lot better than 20% down, right? It's like 100,000 plus. And he's cash flowing. So in this property right now, he's living in the back unit, but we ran the numbers as if he, in year one, if he were to move out of it and rent it out immediately. So he would be cash flowing about $117 a month in cash flow, and his cap rate was 8.5, which is amazing. Cap rate is basically how well the property produces income. And his cash on cash return on year one was 4.1, which is not like crazy, it's not a home run, but at the same time, he wasn't looking for that. He was looking for a property that he can subsidize his expenses, and then eventually, with the time and appreciation and the rental increase and the payment down of his mortgage, this will be yielding a lot better return, but using little money down, right? Next one. The property it is a duplex. The first unit was the front unit. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,600 square feet. Right now it's bringing like $3 grand, and it was a great time because the market rents were going from anywhere from 2,200 to like 28, but it was high demand at that time, so he was able to get $3 grand out of it in the front unit, and his back unit where he's living at his studio can get up to anywhere from 1,100 to 1,500 per month, and it's a 1-bedroom, 800 square feet, and this property was really turnkey, didn't need much. So he didn't have to put any money into it, but besides his down payment and just the closing costs. And so next slide. Okay. So here's the numbers. So his purchase price was $525. He financed, like I said, 96.5% of it, only 0.3.5% down. That's how much money he actually put into it. Skin in the game, $18,375. The closing costs, his mother helped him with, cover it, and then he's paying her back, no interest. And total cash needed for the deal was $34,125. His after repair value appraised for $520. He didn't need to fix it up, like I said, it was turnkey. And his cap rate, like I said, was 8.5. So a few things. I don't want to go into too much explanation here. I'm just kind of keep it simple. His interest rate was good. His loan payments, right now, he's really only paying for about maybe $600 a month because he's subsidizing his mortgage. So if he were to buy this and not have a renter in the front unit and him live in the back, he would be paying this whole $35.90. He's renting the front one for $3 grand. So he's only paying $590 to the mortgage, to the bank. So he's saving all that extra money, and he's saving it up for his next deal. Which is amazing. That's house hacking in its best form. And as time progresses, that rent was going to go up, but also he's not going to live in the house forever. So once he moves out of it and the rents go up, and then that ADU also goes up, he's going to be cash flowing in a lot better situation with putting, like I said, not much money down. So a couple other things that you take into consideration is, like I said, the appreciation, but I'll go into that a little deeper in the next one. Next slide. So this is the breakdown. So if he were to move out of it right now, this is what the numbers look like. He would be renting it out for about $4,500, front unit $3 grand, rear unit about $1,500, and then his operating income, because we're factoring in the 3% vacancy cost, so just in case the property is not rented for however long, we're budgeting for that ahead of time. We're giving that money a place to store up and save just in case for a rainy day. And then that breaks it down to this operating income, and then your operating expense is this right here. So your operating expense is your property taxes, which for him is about $360 a month, and then his insurance is like $70, which is really cheap. And then his maintenance, because the property is pretty turnkey, we factor in about 2%. We factor in 5%, but depending on how well the property is maintained. So $90 a month, $90 a month for his capital expenditures for the big ticket items, and $50 for landscaping for the back. So that's how much he's factoring in for operating expenses, right? So that brings it here. That's his NOI, his net operating income. So then once you subtract the loan payments from it, this is how much he nets in cash flow per month if he were to move out of the property today, right? So $116. And like I said, and next slide. So this is the full financial picture. I'm just gonna show you what it looks like. Like I said, you gotta take into consideration 3% appreciation, income increases, expensive increases because inflation, and the selling price also goes up. So a few things, like I said, year one doesn't look fantastic, right? Because if, you know, he's only making, let's say, his income, like I said, he's only making about $117 a month in cash flow. It's a little bit harder to read. But then as the year progresses, right, year 3 and year 5, it keeps going up, and look how much more he gets. In first year, he's making $1,400 a year, then 31, then 5, then 10, then 21, and 35 grand. So, and then the same thing with if he were his equity accumulation, right? First year, 40 grand, 30, 87 grand, almost all the way up to $1 million if he holds it for 30 years. Because that's the beauty of, like I said, utilizing the strategy, because you get into it at such a low cost, but you yield so many great returns when you factor in appreciation. You know, when you factor in the tenant paying down the mortgage, when you factor in the tax benefits as well, when you factor in just everything. Also the long-term generational wealth, or if you wanted to buy another property, you can pull money out of it, right? Take a home. If you want to make improvements, you can get a HELOC, home equity line of credit, improve it, or if you wanted to buy another property, you can do a cash out refinance and use that money to buy another one. So there's just so many multiple ways that one purchase can yield you such great returns. Next slide. So that's pretty much it. I really appreciate your attention, and I just wanted to, like I said, reiterate how important real estate ownership offers multiple of advantages. Like I said, appreciation, cash flow, tax benefit, diversification. As you evaluate your investment options, consider the many ways that real estate can help you build wealth, secure your future, and achieve financial freedom. And obviously, if you have any questions or concerns, you can obviously reach out to me here at Above and Beyond Real Estate, your financial freedom fighter, as I like to call myself. Because one thing I didn't touch on was I did box competitively for about like 7-8 years, and that taught me that, you know, if you want to, it was a good saying. It was like, AD, you don't have to win all your fights, but you have to fight your fight. And what that means is, win or lose, you have good deals, you have bad deals, just don't give up, right? Like, you keep moving forward, you still continue to keep that vision alive, you still remember your why you started, and you're not gonna win every fight, but if you just continue fighting your fight, fighting the fight for your financial freedom, then you will get there. So,
That's great.
appreciate you.